Hello, good evening and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We're excited because here we are at the beginning of a brand new championship. Well, not a new season of a championship. For now, I bring you the GTMC3. Yes, in its third season, I bring you the Grand Touring Manufacturers Championship. And what a banger the first two seasons have been, and I expect no less from this. So we're here for round one at the Nürburgring. It took me ages to find that, if you wondered. I didn't know where the Nürburgring sign was. I like to start looking at the sign, and I couldn't find it. Yes, we're doing a replay. Obviously, this is not a live race. I can't do the Tuesday evenings that the GTMC is held, so I do my best with the replays. So we're coming down to the beginning of the grid, because I'm going to tell you how qualifying went. So I'll tell you some information about the GTMC. It's two races, a 15-minute sprint and a 40-minute feature race. All the competitors choose a manufacturer and race in the sprint race with the Group 4 car, and the feature race they use the same manufacturer but a Group 3 car. But we're doing the sprint at the moment. When I get to the feature, I'll tell you more about that. So we're at Nürburgring with 16 turns, a 3.199 mile track, and the race details for the sprint race is Group 4. The time of day in game is 8 AM, sunny. It's a 15-minute time set, not laps. The tyres are super soft only, racing super soft only. Tyre wear is set at ×4 and the fuel is set at ×4. There is no pit stops allowed. So you get the gist of what sprint the race one's going to be. Let's look at the grid. They did it's either a 15 or a 10-minute qualifying session, and these are the guys, how it all shook out. Sitting on pole in his Audi TT Cup is Liam Anfield, with a time of a 2:01.797. So that's your pole sitter. Second on the grid, brand new to the Racers Club, is Little Gigi's in the Peugeot RCZ. He sets a time of 2 minutes 01.870. Third on the grid is his teammate Matt Psycho in the other Peugeot RCZ. He set a time of 2:02.431, which is good for third. Fourth on the grid is Homesick Alien in the Nissan GTR, setting a time of 2:03.282. Coming up to fifth on the grid is Eleanor Elevate in the BMW M4, and he set a time of 2:03.429. In sixth, his teammate Eleanor Kale, also in the BMW M4, set a time of 2:03.718. Oh my, I've got some of these times wrong. Bear with me. Then we're looking for seventh on the grid. That's Skyjacker, setting a time of 2:03.935 in his Lexus. 8th on the grid is Racer Brown in the Toyota, setting a time of 2:04.087. 9th on the grid, Alpha Nuts in a 2:04.235. 10th in this other Nissan is Gazman, and he set a time of 2:04.598. Yeah, it's not as fluent now, is it? In 11th we have Shadow Rider in his Mercedes, and he set a time of 2:05.721. 12th is Noxie in the Ford Mustang. He set a time of 2:06.008. In 13th is Guesty in the other Toyota. He set a time of 2:06.108. In 14th is Jim Wise in the Aston Martin. He set a time of 2:06.421. And rounding out the grid, we have AMR Vantage in the Aston V8 Vantage, setting a time of 2:07.191. So that's your grid ahead of the sprint race. And I'll just get us ready now. Whoosh, for the beginning of the race. Oh, I thought I'd be able to just carry on going through them. Right, cool. Let's see if we can do this. I've been a bit rusty about doing these replays. I don't feel like I've done a replay for a while. So sit tight and I'll get this race started. We've got Liam Anfield sat on the front in his Audi. Little GG and Matt Psycho second and third. These are all in front forward powered engines. Yeah, well, I'll just press play. I'll just get on with it. And I can't see the lights, but we're all sat pensive, waiting for the green light to go to get the race underway for 15 minutes. They're holding the accelerator, and it's green, and it's green. Homesick in the Nissan. It's a four-wheel drive. He's made a great leap off of the start, but no. Yes, sorry, Homesick jumped straight into the leads with that four-wheel drive. I think helps him off the grid. Liam Anfield maintained second. He's coming back at the Homesick Alien. Further back, Little GG and Elevate's jumped up in the rear-wheel drive BMW. Same as Kel. Matt Psycho's dropped down to 6th. Skyjacker in 7th. Alpha Nuts 8th. Gazman 9th, Vantage jumped right up into 10th, ahead of Shadow Rider. Oh no, Shadow Rider, Noxie, Guesty, Jim Wise now. Let's have a look around the front here. Liam Anfield around the outside of Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien down to second place, just ahead of Elevates. That's some tight racing there from Liam and Homesick. Around those corners there, Elevate sitting in third, ahead of Little GG's in the Peugeot. Little GG's looked like he was having a look into that corner there, but not quite yet. There's Kale sitting just behind. Saw Kale in the shakedown, looking like he was struggling with the rear-wheel drive BMW, but he's doing a great job there in 5th. Matt Psycho dropped the most there, I think, off of the grids. Getting used to the way the Peugeots pull away. Skyjacker just behind him in the Lexus, ahead of his teammate Alphanut. Gazman is in 9th. He started in 10th, so he's moved up a place. Racer Brown down to 10th, and he started in 8th, so Gazman lost a few places. Oh, someone's really off wide there. Looked like Vantage was right off the road. Shadow Rider closing the gap in the Merc. Looks like there might be a move on here from Shadow Rider. He's looking, but oh, he may have outbraked himself. He's cut the corner a lot. I'm imagining he'll pick up a penalty for that. Behind Guesty, just ahead of Guesty and Noxie racing just ahead of Jim Wise. Let's have a look. Oh, it's all a bit of a kerfuffle going on here between the two Aston Martin. Oh no, the Merc and the Aston Martin. Looks like Noxie's trying to make his way through. Whilst all this is going on, we should have a look up the front. Oh, free into the first corner, but There's a lot of banging between Vantage and Shadow Rider, but Shadow Rider's finally got ahead of Vantage, and it looks like Noxie is looking to get through. On Guesty. Oh, Noxie's thrown it off. Noxie's lost the back end of the Ford. Oh, what a shame. So up ahead, Liam pulling a bit of a gap out. Oh, little GG's has got past. Sorry, we'll have a look. We'll go back 10 seconds, 20 seconds. So, Homesick just ahead of the Peugeot. He's struggling to keep it. And there goes little GG's just up the inside. And it looks like Elevate's trying to have a look as well on Homesick, but Homesick's closing the door on in. One gets through a corner, mate, no more. So, Homesick down to thirds. With Elevate breathing. Oh, Elevate having a look as well. That Nissan is dropping like a brick. It launches, flies off of the grid, but it just can't maintain that same speed as these guys ahead. And the BMWs look like it's surrounding the Nissan now. They're side by side, going towards Dunlop. Elevate's got the inside line. Can the four-wheel drive hold? No, and he's gonna. Oh, Kale! I thought Kale was gonna jump past. He's up alongside the Nissan already. That Nissan really struggling around here. But he stayed ahead of Kale for now. Matt Psycho, a little bit back from these boys, trying to get the join in. His teammate in second place, doing a fantastic job. Skyjacker still ahead of Alpha Nut, who's ahead of Racer Brown in the Toyota. Racer Brown's looking like he's coming at the Lexuses, who seem to be dropping off from the leaders. Gadman in the other Nissan, just holding place behind Racer Brown. Shadow Rider keeping that 11th place, ahead of Vantage, who's ahead of Jim Wise, just two Astons, looking fine in 12th and 13th there. Guesty in the sister Toyota in 14th, and Noxie we saw have a spin just behind these guys. Up ahead then, Liam Anfield. Looks like he's got a good, second lead on these guys ahead of him. He's got the fastest lap with a 203.288. Little GG's did a 203.7, so about 5/10 off. Elevate now up into third place. We saw that move. Homesick ahead of Kale, but he's pulled a little bit of space out. Now Kale's got problems with Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho looking on the inside. Kale's out wide in the BMW. Matt Psycho looks like he's made the move up the inside, and it's there. Matt Psycho up to 5th. And Kale down to 6th. Alphanut's got ahead of Skyjacker. We can see if we can have a quick look. Where was the move? Oh, where was the move? There, I think. Going down into the first corner. Oh, I think he's already done it. Here we go. It's down the straight, was it? Sorry, did I get rid of them last time? So there we can see Alpha out the toe of his teammate Skyjacker. Going into Castroless. Oh, it looks like Skyjacker really lost out. Looks like Racer Brown got up the side of Skyjacker. Oh, I'm pressing all sorts of buttons here. Racer Brown side by side with Skyjacker's not quite got it. Skyjacker's holding that inside line, and it looked like Gasman's having a look down there as well at Racer Brown. So looks like them in the midfield can't decide who's going to finish where. Matt Psycho ahead of Kale, we saw. Alpha Nut ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker has got an issue with a Toyota behind him. Gasman not giving him a second to breathe. I mean, not Gasman, sorry, Racer Brown. Let me go. I'll get used to who's in what car. It's a new season. It's a new championship. We'll get there together. So, Racer Brown chasing down Skyjacker, who obviously was holding up Alpha Nut, because Alpha Nut's now pulling away from Skyjacker. Skyjacker not finding the rhythm of the Lexus around here at Nürburgring. Racer Brown looks like he's ready to pounce. I don't pull away from it, just in case there's a move, because that Toyota looks like it's ready to get past. Excuse me, a little drinky drink pops. Skyjacker says good morning on the chat. We're watching you, Skyjacker. Getting harassed by Racer Brown. So have a quick look around the field. I don't think, I think Skyjacker's got the answers for Racer Brown at the moment. So Liam Anfield looking like he's pulling out a lovely lead. Yeah. It's another fastest lap from Liam Anfield with a 2:03.271. He's got that Audi totally under control around here. Little GG's just about keeping up with him. 2:04.016. There we can see Homesick looks like he's coming back at Elevate, and Matt Psycho's adding pressure to the Alien. So here we can see we've got a little pressure cooker of a race building. Elevate just ahead of Homesick, who's trying to... Ooh, they all take a wide line through there, and Kale as well. Alpha Nut could catch these guys up, the speed he's carrying. Up ahead then, Skyjacker and Racer Brown still at it. Racer Brown up alongside Skyjacker, but Skyjacker's got the inside line. Can Racer Brown flip it around and try and find a way past our very own secret spy agent? No, still sat there, coming down into a heavy braking zone. Maybe he'll have a quick look up the inside. No. Just about keeping up with the Lexus around there in his Toyota 86. We'll have a look around. These guys are just locked into this battle, it seems. Gazman a little bit on his own there for 10th place. 11th, Shadow Rider looks a little bit alone as well. Guesty in 12th, spread out at the back here. Noxie's got ahead of Jim Wise. Looks like we've lost Vantage. Yeah, 14 positions, started 15, so Vantage is gone. Up ahead then, Liam Anfield ahead of Little G's, or Little Double G's, in the Peugeot. And then, Matt Psycho is in third. We've got to do a replay, I'm afraid, because something major happened there. So, no, Elevate is in... How long ago did that happen? So, this is where I knew it from. Elevate was ahead of Homesick Alien. I'll get rid of those bottom bits. There's Homesick Alien coming at Elevate. Looked like Elevate had a little small off. Nothing too major, but really late brakes into that corner, and that's how Matt Psycho got past his teammate right behind him now. Elevate. Kale, what button am I pressing? Kale in 6th, Elevate 5th. Matt Psycho's up to 4th. Homesick's Aliens back into 3rd. Behind Little GG's and Liam Anfield that have pulled away from these guys. But this group of 4 racing hard. Oh yeah, we know Matt Psycho gets past Homesick. We're watching. Start cutting around the field like a normal. So we're watching for how... the Nissan was out wide there, but Kale's really out wide. But there we can see Matt Psycho. Momentum alone. The Homesick put a wheel on the dirt, and that is how we've got Matt Psycho in 3rd, Homesick in 4th. Homesick won both shakedown races before the season started last week, and I think he felt quite buoyant coming into this. He was in a strong car, but the Audi of Liam, in the Group 4s at least, look really good, and those BMWs look very strong from Kale and Elevate, just behind the Nissans. The Nissan. Elevate looking, maybe into the braking zone, into this corner. So, up ahead, Liam Anfield's getting further away, I think, from Little GG's. Little GG's 2:05.00. We'll have a look at the tyre wear as we're going through them. Tyre wear, you can see the tips. Liam Anfield, we're nearly 9 minutes into this race already. That's entertaining, isn't it? There's only 6 minutes left. So Liam Anfield ahead of Little GG's. Matt Psycho in the other Peugeot. I think they're Jedi Racing Team or something. I'll double check that. Jedi Racing. I like that. I love anything Star Warsy. So Elevate's ahead. Oh look, I am. Elevate's ahead of Homesick. When did that happen? Look, ages ago. How can I be watching something? I saw that bit and then I cut away. Must have happened just as I cut away. So yeah, Elevate up the inside of Homesick around the Mercedes Arena area. So that's how Elevate got ahead of Homesick. Kale just looking into it. Can't quite manage it yet, but he's getting closer to the alien. I never go out that wide. I've been doing that corner wrong all this time. Behind him, Alpha. Oh, Racer Brown did get past Skyjacker. Skyjacker's now got trouble from the other Nissan of Gazman. Oh, I won't do a replay of Skyjackers because I bet it happened like 3 laps ago or something. And we'll end up watching half the race again. We knew it was going to happen. It looked like it was going to happen. I mean, we didn't know it. Sorry, Skyjacker. So Gazman now harrying the Lexus. The Lexus tyre wear any worse than the Nissan? Not so much. But I imagine the 4-wheel drive cars are easier to handle with a bit of tyre wear rather than the rear drive. And there we go, Gazman's up the inside, but no, I think Skyjacker has still got the racing line. In 11th, we still have Shadow Rider. No, Noxie in 11th. Where's Shadow Rider going? Oh, Shadow Rider. Oh, well, oh, he just went out a bit wide there, that's all. But someone stopped, so, ooh, did we have a bit of a knock? Coming in to the Dunlop. Oh yeah, I think we just had a little nudge from Guesty on Shadow Rider. Guesty lifting off and waiting. There goes Noxie coming through. We saw Noxie have a spin earlier, so he's got back up to 11th. Jim One Wise up to 12th. Shadow Rider just ahead of Guesty. Guesty like a gentleman waiting. Up ahead, Liam Anfield. Did a 204.1 on his last lap. His tyre wear doesn't look like too concerning. We're 10 minutes into the race. Little GG's did a 205.0 also on his last lap. His tyre wear looks a little bit worse. He can still see Liam Anfield. If Liam Anfield was to make a mistake, he'd be there. In the background, it looks like Matt Psycho and the BMW. Oh, and the BMW of Kale's got past Homesick. I won't keep rewinding them. I'll try and catch him when I can. But Homesick looks like he's coming back at Kale. Into the first corner. He's on the outside, so Kale's got the better line. Can Homesick swing it by? Momentum. He looks like he's up the side of him, but still, Kale's keeping the better line on the apex at all times. Not giving Homesick a chance. Do you know what? Do a bit of in-car, because I can't when we do replays, can't do these live, so can't give you the whooshes and their names and the fancy things like that. I don't think I can anyway, no, they don't work. But I can do in-car footage, which is lush. Look at the scenery, that sun in your eyes. So we're just coming round, where was we just coming round? Ford, was it? Yeah, I think it was Ford. Heading towards Dunlop. 11.5 minutes into this race. Homesick Alien, we saw, take an early lead. Oh God, we can really hear the engine of that BMW ahead of us. We're on its tail. I don't want to pull away because frantic stuff. So coming around the bit curve, heading down towards Bogan, heading towards the NGK chicane after that. So he's dropped back from Kale a little bit there. We'll have a look around the fields. So in 7th, Alpha Nut. As soon as he got past Skyjacker, he's been putting some lap times in, but his tyre wear is starting to look the better of him. And Racer Brown has caught up Alpha Nut after getting past Skyjacker. Wow, Racer Brown, someone put a boost up his butt ski, because he has been making movements. Skyjacker stayed ahead of Gazman, pulled away from him a little bit. Looks like Gazman's just pulling over to pay a penalty. Yep. Quite a hefty one. Noxie in 11th. He's just coming up towards the line. Is that a chance? Oh, I've got to remember. We're 13 minutes, so we've got quite a way, but I want to get on the pause button just in case. So, Noxie, 11th. After that early spin, he must be happy with that. Jim One Wise in the Aston Martin, 12th. Guesty got past Shadow Rider. In the end, Shadow Rider is in 14th. So Liam Anfield leading the way on his 7th lap. Ahead of Little GG's. Looks like Matt Psycho is catching up Little GG's. But, yes, Little GG's really wearing out his front tyres. He must be really struggling with tyre wear now. And Matt Psycho has kind of looked after, well, kind of, he really has looked after his tyres. And he's catching up his teammate, but he's bringing Elevate along with him, whose tyre wear looks fine also. Kale also looks great. Oh, Homesick Alien's been ripping the fronts of his apart. Alpha Nuts, they're not as bad as Homesick Aliens, but they are worse than some of the guys ahead of him. Racer Brown, oh, fresh as a daisy. Racer Brown's looks like he could leap in the last minute or so of this race. Oh, he's dropped back a little bit from Alpha, so maybe not. Skyjacker, he's been wearing his. Gasman, he's not worn as much as the Aliens. Noxie's fresh as a daisy there in 11th. Jim and Wise, they look fine. Guesties look okay. Shadow Riders looks like he's worn them a little bit. So, at the lead of this race, this has got to be Liam Anfield's last lap. Some of these guys might not make it across. Little GG's only just ahead of Matt Psycho. He's really feeling pain now. Coming into the last lap of this race. Matt Psycho looking for a way past already into the first corner. And Little GG's protecting his line. But it's only a matter of time with the tyre wear that Little GG's is feeling, I'm sure. And then you've got Elevate knocking on the door behind. Oh, Elevate, really, oh gosh, let me look back on that, because that was I don't know if it was an attempt or just a missed break opportunity. But we can see Matt Psycho, Little GG, and there's Kale trying to have a look up the inside, but he's mistimed it a little bit. He's giving Little GG a knock. And he's stayed there. He feels like it's a move. And Little GG's dropped down to 4th. That's he's not giving up the spot, so I don't know. He might have to see the stewards about that, I think. Kale back there in 5th. Homesick Alien 6th. Looks like they all got across the line for this last lap. 7th for Alpha Nut. 8th Race Brown, here we go. Gasman finished in 10th. Noxie 11th, Jim Wise 12th, Guesty 13th, and Shadow Rider 14th. So the guy's still out there. This is where the race. Elevate ahead of Psycho, ahead of Little GG's, who's really struggling on his tyres at the moment, but I don't know how far back Kale is from him. Kale is chasing him down. Kale's tyres do look good, but he's a little bit far back on this last lap. Liam Anfield must be coming. Oh, he's a little bit away yet, so Elevate in 2nd place, but I don't know if he'll have to answer to the stewards on the move on Little GG's. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Little GG's down to 4th. His tyre wear, he was always a sitting duck with the tyre wear like that. Kale 5th. Homesick Alien really struggling. Alpha Nut, I don't know how far back. He's a little bit too far back to make a dent. So Liam, crosses the line for the win. Congratulations, Liam Anfield. I've got to be right above this. So Elevate takes 2nd. Matt Psycho 3rd. Little GG's 4th. Kale 5th. Homesick Alien in 6th. It's all very close in the middle there. Alpha Nut catching them up in 7th. Racer Brown keeping Alpha Nut honest all the way home, and Skyjacker looking like he's just about to finish. Pause. Oh, sorry, I've been going backwards. I'll go forward a little bit. Then we can see Racer Brown again. I got panicky, alright, because if I don't pause it, then you go to my menu and it's really awkward. Paused. So there we see Racer Brown. Racer Brown. I was just looking at Racer Brown. Sorry. There's Liam for the win. Fantastic on the sprint race. Now I've got to try and find it on my pad so I can write them in, and I don't have to rewatch I always watch the broadcast. Every broadcast the Virtual Racers Club put out, I always watch because it's class stuff. So Liam Anfield, winner of the sprint race. And yeah, it looks like he got the fastest lap with a 2:03.2 271. So fantastic stuff from Liam Manfield in the Audi. Elevate, is there a better view? Oh yeah, that's awesome. Elevate in the HP Wheel Deal team. I think may have to answer to the stewards, but for now I am writing number 2 next to his name for round 1, race 1. Elevate number 2, and we will see. Matt Psycho, a hard fought third, dropping back to about 5th or 6th on the grid after the start, and fought his way back past at least 3 people, wasn't it? Yeah, I think he had to get past the Beamers and Homesick, was it? So, hard fought race from Matt Psycho for the last podium position. Great stuff. Little GG's had a great race. It was unfortunate his work tyre wear came put him back to 4th, and maybe Elevate as well. We'll have to wait and see. It's not my place to make the call, the judgment. But little GG's there, a fantastic 4th place for his debut in the Virtual Racers Club. 5th is Eleanor Kale. I'm not really writing these down at the same time. I'm giving you all full concentration on this commentary. So Kale finishing in 5th place there, ahead of Homesick Alien in the Nissan. Looks like he was troubled with tyre wear near the end. 7th, Alpha Nut in the Lexus. Alpha Nut 7th. Great race. As soon as he got past Skyjacker, he started trying to make a pounce for the guys ahead, but already had lost a little bit too much time. 8th, Racer Brown. A fantastic finish. Also again, I think, held up a little bit in the behind Skyjacker. Skyjacker, he came 9th. I don't think he got into the rhythm in the sprint race with that Lexus. He'll be hoping for more out of the feature race, which will be coming up soon. In 10th we have Gazman in his Nissan, doing a fantastic job. Gazman 10th. I want to get told off and say don't write them down when you're on air. Ooh, that's a rubbish shot. Here we go. Oh, that's even rubbisher shot, so you get a close-up of the Ford Mustang of Noxie. We saw him have an early spin, came back to get up to 11th. Great race from him. We lost someone else really. Oh, Shadow Rider left as well, it looks like. I'm going to jot you down, Shadow Rider, as 14th and Vantage as 15th, even though you disappeared. So, who did I just say? Noxie. Yeah, I've written him in. So, Jim One Wise in 12th in the Aston Martin. It's a good race. Saw him moving around at the back there. In 13th, Guesty in the other Toyota. 13th. And 14. Oh no, Shadow Rider is there. Sorry, Shadow Rider, I take it back. I said you'd gone, but I couldn't see your name on there, that's why. No, Shadow Rider finishing in 14th, and I'll write Vantage in as 15th, but he looks like he left at some point. Well, that was race 1, the sprint race at Nürburgring. Congratulations to a great start for Liam Manfield, carrying on the way he finished in GTMC2 when he was driving for the Volkswagen team. He's come back with a bang, and he must be very pleased with that. A very strong win from start to finish, jumping off of pole. He lost the start, the lead to Homesick, but fought back before the end of the lap, got the lead back, and then that was it. Just a sweet, cool ride all the way to the finish line. We're here at the Nürburgring, just awaiting to start the GTMC Season 3 Round 1 feature race. We've had the sprint race. That was all exciting things happening in that race. It's well worth a watch. And the sounds alright, so I can stop padding that. Yes, so we've had a sprint race, and during the break we've had the randomizer whirled up to pick a random number, so the grid is reversed from that number, and during the break the number that was picked was number 9. So as Skyjacker finished 9th in the sprint race, he is now promoted to the front of the grid. The feature race, is a 40-minute race. I've got the deets. Yeah, baby, the deets. Pog. So the feature race is in the same manufacturer they chose, but the Group 3 car. It's set at 8:30 in the evening, with the weather set to sunny. The time of race is 40 minutes. The tyre choices is super soft, soft and medium of the racing category. Tyre wear is set at ×3. The fuel is set at ×4. 2 tyre compounds must be used for a minimum of 3 laps during the race. So if they prefer super softs and they decide to go on the slower softs, they have to at least do 3 laps on that tyre before they can come back in. Anyway, so here is the grid after the randomizer chose number 9. So the grid is reversed from 9th down, and the guys at the back still stay where they finished. So on pole we have a Skyjacker, and he is on the super soft tyres. Second place we have a Racer Brown, or second on the grid we have Racer Brown in the Toyota, and he is on the soft tyres. Starting third we have Alpha Nut in the Lexus on super softs. In fourth, Homesick in the Nissan. He's starting on soft tyres. In fifth we have Kale in the BMW, starting on soft tyres. Sixth, Little GG's, starting on soft tyres. Seventh, his teammate Matt Psycho, starting on the soft tyre. In eighth we have Elevate in the BMW, starting on soft tyres. And in ninth, your sprint race winner Liam Anfield in the Audi is starting on soft tyres. 10th place we have Gazman in the second Nissan, starting on softs. Noxie in the only Ford, starting on super softs in 11th. 12th we have Jim Wise in the Aston Martin, starting on super softs. In 13th, the second Toyota Supra, these GR3 ones are, he's starting on the super softs, and Shadow Rider is in the Merc, is also starting on the super softs. So a quick sneak look at the Group 3 cars. They look just as good as the Group 4 cars did, and we'll get underway with the race. 40 minutes around the Nürburgring. I don't know why I did that. I could have pressed circle again. And find a better camera angle, see if we can see the lights. See the lights, have I actually started it? Not yet. So sit tight guys. We are going to watch the start of a 40-minute race around here at Nürburgring in Group 3 cars, starting from now. Is that green? Oh no, I think that's a replay glitch. It's not gone green yet. We'll just have to guess. When the cars move, it's gone green. We're waiting now. Wow, it's a long hold. There they go now. So Skyjacker, Racer Brown. We know the Nissans are fast starting, but Skyjacker looks like he's holding it from Alpha Nut. Everything's looking good at the moment. There's a Nissan coming in there. Homesick. Oh, I think Homesick give Alpha a little nudge. Racer Brown really outbraked himself. Oh, Alpha Nut's all the way round. So Skyjacker's still holding. Little GG's come up through to second place. Liam Anfield now in third. My word, where did he start? ninth. From ninth to third, he's just had a little nudge from Shadow Rider in the corner. Shadow Rider down to fifth. Elevate up to fourth now. Got to keep up with all of this. So Elevate up to fourth. Elevate started in eighth. So it's a great for these guys. The guys in the back of the field. Shadow Rider got through into sixth. Matt Psycho. No, Shadow Rider's in fifth, sorry. Matt Psycho's in sixth. Homesick Alien, seventh. Gasman has gone up to eighth. Noxie ninth. Guesty 10th. 11th, Jim Wise in the Aston Martin. Alpha Nut we saw spinning in 12th. Kale, I think, was the one that gave him a little knock. Has waited, he's in 13th. And Racer Brown we saw really outbreak himself into the corner. I think he's also waited, but I don't believe it was his fault. What happened to Alpha Nut, so he may not have had to wait. So up ahead, Skyjacker leading from Lil GG's, but Lil GG's is all over Skyjacker. He's already passed. My word, let's find a better camera because that was awful. So Lil GG's fighting with Skyjacker for the lead on the first lap, and he's through. He's through, and he's on his way towards Advent Bogan. So Skyjacker hot on the heels. He's up the side of Lil GG's. You can see through the dusky air of the Nürburgring that they're going into the chicane, and there Skyjacker's taken back the lead. This is a stunning race by these guys. Liam Anfield a little bit further back, but these two locked in battle. Elevate still in fourth ahead of Matt Psycho. Homesick Alien in sixth. Gasman seventh, just behind his teammate. Jim Wise has got himself up ahead of Guesty now. Jim Wise having a great race in that Aston Martin. Looks like he's coming at Gasman. Guesty ninth in the Toyota. He's come a long way from where he was. Alpha Nut coming through the field now. He's ahead of Noxie. Noxie in 11th. Kale 12th. Racer Brown 13th. And Shadow Rider looks like he's had an off. Up ahead then, oh my lords, we've got Little GG, Skyjacker and Liam Anfield all bunched up. Hey up, I didn't choose that camera. It's got a mind of its own, for heaven's sakes. So Lil GG's is leading from Skyjacker, but Skyjacker is struggling with Liam Anfield, the Audi, all over the back of him, and it's such a power unit, that Audi. It's going to be hard to fight off, but Skyjacker is on the super soft tyres, remember. Elevate still in fourth. He's not dropped behind these guys. Matt Psycho's got himself ahead of Homesick and a few people. Hang on, things have happened here, we'll go back. Where was Matt Psycho? No, sorry, that's 30 seconds he's there, so I don't know really. Why did that keep happening? I didn't choose that camera. Oh, I think it's because I'm on variable. It swaps its own cameras and goes to its own in-car. So we've got Matt Psycho up to sixth ahead of Homesick Alien. Maybe, I don't know. Homesick Alien sixth. Gasman, his teammate behind. Jim Wise in the Aston. Guesty in ninth, being harassed all over the place by Alpha. Alpha's up alongside of him now. Alpha looks like he's on the outside for the corner. Guesty holding position. Ooh, Guesty bit outbreaks himself, a little tap, but no harm done. Alpha looking for up the inside, and Alpha makes the move and is ahead of Guesty. Guesty now fighting off Noxie in the Ford Mustang. No, Guesty's struggling with, oh god, I'm going a different way. Guesty's struggling with, oh, I thought Kale was right up his back. No, Kale's dropped back to Noxie, and there we can see Guesty's off, but saves it. Great save. Lil GG then ahead of Skyjacker, who is ahead of Liam Anfield's. For the top three, Elevate still in fourth. He looks like he's pulled a little bit out from Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho looks like he's struggling with Homesick. They're both on the soft compound tyres, going along straight. Homesick trying to get a tow, I imagine. Looking for a way past. Oh, I've got this cool in-car. Sorry. Although the last live broadcast, I think deleting a load of replays gave me, oh, I'm sick looking up the inside. It's such a tricky corner to try and make a move because you're flipping the other way this way. And Homesick there gets hit with a hefty old penalty. Didn't look that bad. I know it's probably for corner cutting. So up ahead, Lil GG still ahead of Skyjacker. who is still ahead of Liam Anfield at this point. I don't believe there's any fuel saving. We're 5 minutes into the race. We're on lap 3. I'm amazed Liam Anfield's keeping that car on the road. I've heard it is just a monster to try and drive. But Liam Anfield seems to be doing quite well with it in third. There, Elevate, 4th position, ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho's doing a great job. He was under pressure from Homesick, but it looks like he's shaken off the Alien a little bit to get a bit of breathing space. The Alien just picked himself up a big penny. So Homesick having to clear 2.5 second penalty along the start straight. Right, further back, Gazman, his teammate, still behind him, holding off Alphanut. Alphanut's made his way past a couple of guys. So has Kale. Sorry, I was watching the front battle. Look, Kale in the BMW looking for a way past the Aston Martin. He's sneaking up the inside on the chicane, but now Jim Wise is on the inside. But no, Kale's done enough to keep ahead. But then we've still got the final corner, a tight right hairpin. Jim Wise holding off Racer Brown now. It looks like Racer Brown looking for a way past Jim Wise. These two were hurt by the first corner incident and are slowly trying to make their way through, Kale and Racer Brown. And Racer Brown hasn't got the grunt of what that Aston Martin has up the straights in the Toyota Supra. Can't quite make the pass stick. Guesty in the Ford Mustang, sitting in 13th ahead of Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider really struggling with that Mercedes, and I know how he feels because I tried to choose the Mercedes and it was a nightmare. But little GG's pulling away from Skyjacker now. Skyjacker did a 56.740 on his last lap. Liam Anfield 56.740, exactly the same lap time on the last lap. That's stunning stuff by the Lexus and the Audi. Fantastic. These two locked in a battle, giving little GG a bit of breather to pull away. But don't forget, little GG, we saw in the first race, he uses his tyres. He uses them and then burns them. So, oh, Skyjacker right out really wide there. No, oh my god, oh no, and his back end's come round. Here comes his teammate in 6th, comes past, oh god. And Skyjacker there down to 9th place, 11th place. That's it's really unfortunate for the Lexus driver. He was having a great race there in 2nd place, keeping Liam in his place, but just asked for a bit too much of the car in the corner, and now he's got Noxie in the Mustang coming up to race him now. So Lil GG be relieved to see the shiny Lexus disappear from his rear view mirror. That gives Liam Anfield now the open road. He's done a 56.095 on that last lap, where little GG did a 55.5 and the fastest lap of the race. So little GG knows what he's got to do, and he's doing it. Liam Anfield playing the chase game. Elevate has now elevated to 3rd. Matt Psycho is up to 4th. Yeah, that'd be right, he was 5th, sorry. I thought he was 6th, but he was 6th, but he got ahead of Homesick. So Matt Psycho up to 4th place. The FF car's doing alright. Oh, actually, I don't know, I haven't looked up the GR. I'm pretty sure they are. I haven't. GR3 cars. Alphanut from his early woes now up to 5th place, looking quite tidy. His tyres look alright. He was on the super softs, and there's Homesick on the softs. It's about the same wear, so Alpha doing great with those super soft tyres. Matt Psycho, he's not used his softs yet. What are we? Nearly 10 minutes, 9.5 minutes into the race. Tyre wear isn't looking like an issue so far for any of these guys. Lil GG doing what he has to do, staying ahead. I'm just waiting for him to come round to see what lap time he puts in. Coming up to the 10-minute mark, just starting lap 6, did a 55.580, and Liam Anfield did a 56.120. So, little GG has got the pace on Liam Anfield in the Audi at the moment. Elevate did a 56.414, so he's thereabouts. A couple of tenths off the guys in front of him. Matt Psycho did a 56.2, a little bit faster than Elevate, so he's pulling in Elevate slightly. Alpha Nut in 5th, 56.0. Oh, the lap times are nothing between them. He's on the super softs, remember, but he's not wearing them any more than the guys on racing softs around him. 56.7 for the Homesick Alien on his soft tyres. Looks like his teammate Gazman is pulling him in. He did a 58.2 though on his last lap, so maybe he's not pulling him in too much. Further down we can see Kale still trying to make his way through. Kale and Racer Brown ahead of Jim Wise. I think they're doing a 56.690 for Racer Brown in his Toyota. Oh, down the field there we can see Skyjacker trying to make his way past Jim Wise, struggling. The grunt of the Aston Martin down those straights really makes it a difficult car to pass. Skyjacker's got the inside line. It's a sprint out the corner, and Jim Wise in the Aston has just got the grunt just over the Lexus, it seems. Jim Wise having a great race there in 10th place with all that pressure. He's soaking it up. There's Skyjacker again up the inside trying. Jim Wise putting the car in the perfect place there to be on the inside now. Really frustrating Skyjacker. Skyjacker can't do anything about this. Jim Wise, he's got a queue of cars behind him, but there's nothing any of them can do. There's Skyjacker 11th, Noxie in 12th, just side by side with Guesty. Oh, little knock between them, Guesty and Noxie doing the polite thing. I think Noxie pulled over, didn't realise Guesty was alongside. Give him a knock. But there we go. Kale, first of our pit stoppers. Is he? Little GG has stayed out second, third. Everyone seems to be Alpha Nut up to 4th. So does that mean Matt Psycho? Oh no, Matt Psycho's 3rd. So, oh yeah. Yes, that is correct, isn't it? Little GG, Liam Anfield, Matt Psycho, Skyjacker spun out. So 4th, 5th, Homesick Alien. None of the top guys, I don't think. Oh, Elevate, that's it. Elevate's pitted. Elevate and Kale on the early stop, gone onto the super soft tyres. Racer Brown. So yeah, it's just the BMWs, it seems, have made that early stop. Kale behind Skyjacker and Jim Wise. Skyjacker really struggling to beat that Aston Martin. And now Kale, has joined Elevate. Pit stop, where did it bring him out, sorry? It's behind Gazman and Homesick, but only just behind Gazman. That's great pit stop strategy. Got them in early. Got onto the super softs. Raised the pace down here again. Oh, Jim looks like he's gone out wide, and it's released Skyjacker and Kale. Great work from Jim though. Fine few laps with all that pressure. Now Skyjacker trying to run away from Kale, but Kale on the super soft tyres that are brand spanking new, and he's pushing Skyjacker along in that Lexus. He's looking up the insides. Racer Brown just ahead of us, but he's not got it. Skyjacker's still got racing line up into the inside of. Oh, I'm going to get in car, I think, with Kale. Whoa, both cars shaking the booty out of the corner. What a fine sight with a rear wheel racing drive car coming out of the corner, wiggling this. Oh, I thought it said Skyjacker was pitting. Someone's pitted. Gazman has pitted just ahead of Skyjacker. Gazman has pitted. Let's quickly look then. Lil GG still ahead of the fields, has not pitted. Second place, Liam Anfield still not pitted. Matt Psycho still not pitted. Alpha Nut not pitted. Homesick Alien not pitted. Gazman he did pit. So's Elevate. Elevate's lost the back end. Oh no, Elevate's lost the back end. Here comes Racer Brown. Racer Brown's coming round. Is it enough? Racer Brown has not pitted yet though. Elevate has dropped 7th, it says. There he is. So Racer Brown has got ahead of Elevate, but Racer Brown still has to pit. Skyjacker in 8th, hasn't pitted. Kale there in 9th, has pitted. Here comes Gazman, he's pitted, put the super softs on. He's ahead of Jim. He'll be pleased about that because Jim in the Aston Martin is a struggle to get past with the grunt down the straights. Behind Jim, Noxie and Guesty in their their fight for they just seem to be always racing each other. It's great stuff. So Noxie all over the back of Guesty in the Ford Mustang. Here's Toyota, but Noxie has gone out wide because they both ending with an E. I get myself mixed up. So Noxie out wide on the Ford Mustang, and that's let the Toyota of Guesty slip through behind. Not too far behind Noxie is Shadow Rider. So Liam Anfield has come into the pits. Little GG stayed out. His teammates Matt Psycho has stayed out. Alpha Nut stayed out. Homesick has stayed out. So Liam getting his wheels on. He's going to be putting on some super softs. Racer Brown hasn't pitted. Is he going to stay out? He's good with his tyres though. No need, but he's got Elevate all over the back of him. Liam Anfield has come out into 5th place behind Alpha Nut. Matt Psycho, Alpha Nut and Homesick Alien, who all are yet to make a pit stop. No, Liam Anfield has opted to put softs on, and he started on softs, so interesting tactic. He's still got to do a super soft stint. There we see little GG. He really ripped his tyres apart in the first race, but we've gone over 16 minutes and he seems to be okay. Well, they're a lot worse than his teammates. It doesn't like there's no threat of Matt Psycho coming into the pits just yet. It'll be fuel, I think, that gets Matt Psycho before tyre. And there is Alpha Nut from his early woes in corner 1. He was spinning around, but there he is in 3rd. But Alpha Nut, Homesick Alien has caught him up. He was trailing him in a little bit, and Homesick Alien put his personal best in on the 7th with a 56.371. I'll have a look around the field to see who holds the fastest lap. It was Kale, wasn't it? The last we saw. But Homesick Alien starting to apply pressure on to Alpha Nut. Little GG is coming up to around the pits. He's still got a lap or two's worth of fuel. His tyre wear isn't looking awful. So is he going to... Yeah, I think the pit entrance is earlier than that. So the two Peugeots, good to stay out for another lap. Alpha Nut looks like his fuel tank is flashing, and he has come in releasing Homesick, who's still got a couple of laps left in his fuel tank. Alpha Nut in, then Liam going ahead obviously of Alpha. Where was it? He was racing Racer Brown and Elevate. Racer Brown still, now Racer Brown's coming in to pit. Alpha Nut will be putting the softs on, I imagine. Racer Brown, so Elevate has gone ahead. Well, Elevate was sort of 3rd place, wasn't he, before all the pit stops, so he's behind Liam Anfield. It'll be what the Peugeots can do staying out this long, and the Nissan of Homesick Alien. So Alpha Nut out into 6th place ahead of Gazman. Kale, Gazman. Alpha Nut's just a little bit ahead of these guys though. It's good. Kale, Racer Brown only just coming out. Shadow Rider going for the long stint and doing a fine job in it. That Mercedes not as thirsty as the other cars around him. 9th place. Super Softs look very used though. Racer Brown come out on Super Softs. Full tank of fuel, up to go. We're not quite 20 minutes into this race. We're only 19, so I don't think he's going to be able to do a one stop on that tank. Whereas Shadow Rider could easily do a one-stop here. Little GG's fuel is flashing now. They both did a late 57.0 for Little GG's on his last lap, lap 9. Excuse me. So Little GG's leading from Matt Psycho. Both of these yet to have a pit. Their tanks are empty. Homesick Alien, his tank isn't flashing yet. That Nissan can go quite a way. Is he going to try and make it go for a one-stop? If he stays out, that definitely can be a one-stop strategy. Peugeots are coming in. Well, at least one, yeah. Matt Psycho as well. Both Both Peugeots are in. It could be a one-stop from them guys. Homesick Alien carrying on rounds. Got another lap in him. And then we got Liam Anfield, second place, ahead of... Oh, is he going to jump? Little GG's. Little GG's fueling up now. No, Liam Anfield looks like he's jumped. Little GG's in the pit stop. And Alpha has jumped the Peugeots, has he? No, Little GG's is coming out. No, Little GG's behind Alpha Nut. Where did Elevate? Elevate lost out a lot then. Alpha Nut had a really good strategy there. He hasn't fueled up, I think. No. So Alpha, Homesick's yet to pit stop, so it should shake out. Liam in the lead, Alpha in second, Little GG's in third, Elevate is in fourth. So Alpha Nut has jumped Little GG's and Elevate, but Little GG's has topped up. We think he's only stopping the once this race. I'm talking about Little GG's, we might as well look at him. He's only stopping the once this race, so I believe Liam Anfield and Alpha Nut, Homesick, have all got a pit ahead of this guy, Little GG's. We've got Elevate sitting just behind us. There, you can just see him outside the picture. So it's turned out to be quite a good strategy from the Peugeot boys. I'll have a look to see where Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho came out in 8th behind Gazman. But we believe he's made his one and only stop for the race. So let's have a look through the field. Liam, Homesick Alien, sorry, yeah. His fuel tank is flashing now. This is definitely the stop he's got to make. But we're in 21 minutes. We're over halfway into this race. So if he can make the Super Softs last for the duration of the race, he is sitting pretty with a one stop. So Liam takes the lead of this race for the first time. He was following Little GG's, wasn't he? So Alpha is in second, just kicking up some dirt there. Little GG's catching up Alpha with Elevate just behind. Kale, where did Kale come from? He's up to 5th place. Slowly made his way through the field as Kale. Clever strategy with Elevate, stopping early. It seems to have cost Elevate, but Kale has gained quite a lot out of it. Gazman is in 6th. He's jumped his teammate. He's racing Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho's in 6th. He's just got ahead of Gazman. Gazman has jumped his teammate with the early pit stop. But Gazman probably will have to pit again. Homesick can go till the end of this race, whereas we think a few of the guys ahead of him will have to pit. Racer Brown, I think he's one stopping as well. He's just done a 56.1, so he's on the move. Guesty in the other Toyota just did a 56.666. So these guys are really moving on the Super Softs. They're really comfortable with Super Soft tyres. Jim Wise having a great race there. He's on the softs now. He's ahead of Noxie, who is ahead of Skyjacker, who's ahead of Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider now finally stopping. Skyjacker, I think these guys are running till the end. Noxie, yeah, they're all going to run till the end. So up at the front end of the field, Liam Anfield has got quite a crushing gap ahead of Alpha Nut. He's won this race quite convincingly in that Audi. It's not over yet, I know, but Alpha will have to pit again. Liam Anfield will have to pit again. Well, Liam Anfield has to put a second different compound on. He's used softs for the last 2 stints. Alpha has got his 2 compounds out the way, but I think he hasn't got enough fuel for the rest of this race. Little GG has got enough fuel and he's catching up Alpha. And really all I think he has to do is wait for Alpha to make a second pit stop. We're 24 minutes virtually into this race. Elevate in 4th. He's going to have to make another pit stop, we believe. And Kale jumped right up to 5th. He's had an amazing race. Slowly battling away with the little battles down the fields. And in the HP Wheel Deal Team BMW, he has found himself behind his teammate in 5th, because Kale started in 5th, but we saw he had to wait for Alpha at the very beginning. So Alpha Knight, I suppose you've got to give him race of the day. And Liam Anfield started 9th and he's now leading this race, which is quite a feat, but I think because of the first corner incident that did promote Liam up to 3rd. But Alpha has had to fight himself from a deficit at the back after the spin all the way to find himself up into 2nd place, as well as Kale and Racer Brown to some extent, because I don't think Racer Brown's going to have to pit like Homesick, whereas we believe Gasman will have to pit before the end of this race. Maybe not. Matt Psycho definitely doesn't have to pit. The 2 BMWs. Oh no, Gasman's wild, no, he's caught it. My word, Gasman, I salute you, sir, because that looked like it was lost cause, and man alive, how did you catch that? In the background I just saw it going from one side of the track to the other side of the track. Drift City. It looked like he was heading towards the Shadow Realm, and he caught it. He lost 1 position to his teammate. Unbelievable, Gasman. Fantastic. Awesome. What great car control. Fantastic stuff. So Liam Anfield leading this race, like I said, quite convincingly. Well, he's not pulling away from Alpha Nut. It is a battle of the pit stops with these guys. We've seen Alpha jump a few people with a canny little pit stop, and he might be able to pull that deficit back on Liam before the end of this race. And is it guaranteed these guys will be out ahead of Little Gigi, who is... oh, he's dropped back from Alpha Nut now. We saw that he was really close to Alpha Nut. I don't know who chose that camera angle. It's not one I choose. So Little Gigi has dropped back away from Alpha, but he's got a heavier car and he's only on the softer tyres. What did they start on? So Little Gigi's definitely has to pit because he's got to do a super soft stint. He's only done the soft tyres so far. So interesting, Little Gigi definitely got a pit again. I thought they were one stopping, but he's put the soft compound on for a 2nd time. So yes, he's not one stopping after I said that. So these top 3 will all have to pit again. Elevate. Oh, fuel flashing. He's definitely due for a pit stop, and then he'll be on a last 10-minute stint on the super softs. He's done a 55.509, which is the fastest lap of the race. So the top 5 all have to pit. Matt Psycho has put the super softs on, and he started on the softs, so Matt Psycho has got both compounds out of the way. Homesick Alien looks like he's closing in on Matt Psycho in the Nissan. Homesick Alien's last lap was a 55.980. Matt Psycho's Alpha Nut is in. Alpha, the first of the front runners to pit. So Little GG gets ahead. Like I said, unless there's a misunderstanding of the rules, Little GG has to run a 2nd compound. Matt Psycho through with Homesick Alien into the top 4. Oh, I might sit in Homesick Alien. Oh, Homesick Alien. Oh, has Matt Psycho got to pay a penalty? He's pulled off the racing line, but he's... yeah, Homesick Alien has gone ahead. So maybe Matt Psycho had to pay a penalty there, and it's put him behind Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien, we don't believe Homesick Alien has to pit again, nor does Matt Psycho. I don't think. They've both done different compounds. So Homesick started 4th on the soft compound. He's in 3rd on the super soft compound, so he's one stopping, I believe. He's got plenty of fuel. Liam Anfield's fuel is desperate, and that's a man who's going to be coming in very soon. Little GG probably doesn't have to pit, but he's got to choose a 2nd compound for at least 3 laps, so he should pit soon to put super softs on. Ooh. So Homesick Alien doesn't have to pit. He's shaken out quite nicely in the Nissan. It looked like he was having a bit of a Blair race, but he's come up to 3rd. Matt Psycho 4th. Alpha Nut, he's done his pit. He's come out ahead of Elevate. Kale, these have all beat Gasman out of the pits, but Gasman pitted as well, it looks like. Racer Brown, he looks like he's been in and pitted as well. I didn't think he had to. Jim Wise behind these guys. In 10th, Guesty, he looks like he's been back in and put a new set of tyres. Sorry, I haven't followed the race very well, have I? And there we go, Liam Anfield, he has pitted. So Little GG's He's coming around. Maybe he started on super soft, but on my bit of paper I've got little GG's as softs, so I'm not sure. But there we go, little GG's coming round. Liam topping up with fuel. There's 10 minutes left of this race. There goes Liam. Little GG's through. Liam in second, just behind him. Race on till the end here. Homesick Alien, last of the podium. We don't think he's got to pit again. Those tyres are looking quite tidy for the last 10 minutes. Matt Psycho into fourth. So Alpha, second pit stop, did him out of second place, unfortunately, because of Homesick and Matt Psycho only pitting the once. Little GG should pit again, because I'm pretty sure he's only used one compound of tyre, but there might have been a misunderstanding of the rules. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. Liam Anfield, second place, having a great race. Can he do it on track rather than the steward room? Homesick Alien in third. Got a good fuel tank on that Nissan. Ran quite late into the race, so managed to just one-stop it and got himself up to fourth. Matt Psycho also one-stop strategy, working really well for him. Alpha Nut, two-stop strategy, put him into fifth after his spin on the first race. I mean the first corner, being hit by Kale. I think he got hit by Homesick Alien and then knocked round by Kale. All racing incidents, I would have said, but I'm not the steward. So has got himself up to fifth. Elevate seems to have dropped fourth, struggling to keep Kale behind him now. Kale's all over the back of the BMW. Teammates, we've seen them collide before, but not on purpose. I think once saw, I think it was Elevate, glance a wall, and he had Kale really close like this behind him, and Kale obviously plummeted into the back of him. Purely accidental, but it really is painful when you're teammates. You don't want to cause each other's race. So Kale having a look. Elevate, where did Elevate go? He's still there, but looks like Elevate didn't want to hold his teammate up. Probably recognises his teammate's faster at this point in the race and is letting him go to chase down Alpha, because he's not too far behind Alpha, and Alpha is not too far behind Matt Psycho. So it's not all a done deal here. Liam Anfield has got ahead of Little GG. Oh, sorry guys, we'll have a look at a replay, because... Or did Little GG pit? God, it was a while ago. So there we go. Oh, one more. It was ages ago. I don't know what we've been watching. So Little GG out ahead of Liam Anfield, but Liam Anfield is on the super soft tyres going into the last chicane, NGK chicane, and there we saw Liam pull the move on Little GG's. Little GG's got a little bit more tyre wear than Liam, so Liam convincingly retakes the lead of the feature race of round one of the GTMC3. Little GG's in second place. Not sure about his tyres, I might have been wrong. Maybe he started on super softs. Homesick, fantastic third place. Kept his nose clean, just drove the race, kept to his strategy, and found himself ahead of Matt Psycho. I think Matt Psycho had to pay a penalty, put him behind Homesick. Alpha Nut trying all he can in the last 8 minutes to catch up. The Peugeot ahead of him. He's got fresher tyres, a lot fresher tyres than Matt Psycho. Well, so he's done a 55.5 on his last lap. He's doing purples in the first sector. Matt Psycho did a 57.4 on his last lap, so he's not getting the speed on those super softs. They're quite old now. So Alpha pumping in the laps, chasing down Matt Psycho. He's dropped. Oh, Elevate's back ahead of Kale. So don't know what happened between the two teammates there, although I popped back a bit, didn't I, to have a look at Elevate's on the fastest lap again. Gasman in 8th, just ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown looking for a position here, is he? Shall we go in car for a little bit? Look at the back of the Nissan. It's a very nice looking rear end of a car, I must say. Let me just wet the whistle. must be a psychological thing. I was playing a drinking game with Racer Brown's car because he's got a Red Bull livery in the MX5 Championship. So every time I went to Racer Brown, I had a drink of Red Bull. And I think it's just Racer Brown now. He should just call himself Racer Red Bull Brown. So sat on board with Racer Brown behind Gazman, looking for a way past. Oh, Gazman is good. Oh, the back end lost a little bit. Racer Brown side by side. He's got the inside line going into the final hairpin in the Toyota. Gazman just holding his line, hoping that the grunt of the Nissan can do him, and it has. Wow! So we've seen Gazman catch an impossible, what looked like a definite spin, and then just drive around the outside and with pure grunt get down to the first corner ahead of Racer Brown. Purely, oh god, what button did I press? Purely a great race there from Gazman. His first race, I think, with us guys. Was he in Le Mans? He may have been in Le Mans, I'm not sure. He has raced in a couple of broadcasts, I do remember talking about him a couple of times, but from round 1 of the GTMC, he's having a great showing. Racer Brown, he's raced in the MX5s, he's fast, and he knows what he's doing, so getting frustrated there with Gazman, I believe. Gazman did a 57.1 on his last lap. Racer Brown did a 57.3. These guys racing for real. Down for 8th and 9th. We'll have a quick look through the fields. Kale 7th. Gazman is 8th. Racer Brown here in the Toyota, just behind Gazman. Go for the long shots. Looks like Racer Brown is ready to pounce, but the pure grunt of that Nissan, I think, getting out of the corners. He can't execute the move that he wants to make. Here we go into the final chicane. Racer Brown just can't get up the inside. He's going to make another move for the final hairpin. Just a little bit too far back. Wants to carry good speed through it. Try and make a run on him for the first corner. Should we get on board with him? Leading up to the first corner, hopefully there's not much racing up and down the field I'm missing, but this seems to be the main racing. Gazman gone over for a defensive line for his corner, so he's made himself slower through the corner. He swings out wide. He's lost the back end a little bit. Racer Brown trying to make best of it, but he's also out wide going into that corner. His wheels are screeching. He's torturing his wheels, trying to find the grip to get past Gazman. Gazman's back end is swinging his way. It's Tokyo Drift here in the GTMC, and you can see Racer Brown trying all he can to get past the Nissan, but he is being frustrated at every turn. Out wide there for the Toyota. So let's have a quick flick through the field and hopefully just come back to this race. There's only 3 minutes left of the race to go. 37 minutes. Look at this. So Liam Anfield looks like he's quite a way ahead of Little GG's. Little GG's didn't pop into the pits. I think it's too late to do 3 laps now. So I'm probably wrong. Maybe he did start on super softs. I haven't even seen anything. It's been a couple of days since this race, and I haven't seen anything in the steward's room about tyres. So Homesick looks like he's catching up. Little GG's. Homesick did a 56.562 on his last lap. Little G did a 57.3. Alpha Nut has got ahead of Matt Psycho. Oh, I do apologise. Watching the guys further down, Alpha Nut was on a faster stint than Matt Psycho, and it looks like, I don't know how long ago it happened. I can't flick half the race behind. So Elevate ahead of Kale, 6th and 7th. Their strategy didn't really work out for them that well in the end. Gazman in 8th ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown trying all he can to get past the Nissan, but the Nissan with its grunt and its wide sides in the corners is doing everything it needs to do to keep the Toyota behind it. Behind them, Skyjacker looks like he's in a bit of free air. He's racing himself. His fastest lap was a 56.5. 38.5 minutes into this race then, so I'll get that ready, so we don't go through to menu boards, because that's really cringy. So Skyjacker in 10th position. Jim Wise 11th. Had a great race every time I've seen him. He's been in the battles. He's done a 57.5, so as soon as he put those super softs on, he come to life. Did some 58s. He's got a great race pace. Noxie in the Ford Mustang. What the bloody hell is that camera angle? Ford Mustang is in a 12th position. Saw him have some battles along the way. It's Guesty in the other Toyota in 13th, ahead of... his fuel is quite low, but he probably is his last lap. By the time he gets to the finish line, it'll probably be... We've hit the 40-minute mark. And there we see Shadow Rider. Thought one stop was going to really work for him, but didn't seem to shake out that way. Ahead then, so we're watching Liam on his last lap coming around. Little GG, question whether or not... they're all crossing the line, so it's going to be close now. We'll go through the field, so next person to cross the line will be Gazman, but there's still 15 seconds to go of this race. Looks like Gazman has dropped Racer Brown. Where's Racer Brown go? Racer Brown dropped really far back from Gazman, so it looks like Racer Brown probably had some penalties to pay. Gazman has made it across the line. Will Racer Brown make it across the line for that last lap? He might be fuel saving, in all fairness. He's probably hoping, yeah. So Racer Brown, the first of the finishers, in 9th. Congratulations, great racing we see from Racer Brown. Skyjacker finishes 10th. Jim Wise coming over to finish in 11th. Great race from himself. I've not seen Jim Wise too much in our races, so welcome aboard, Jim Wise. Great finish. 11th, Noxie 12th in the Ford Mustang. Guesty 13th for the second Toyota, and Shadow Rider, that Merc is a monster, man. Done a great job. Shadow Rider is in 14th. So watching Liam coming around, I think. Is there any battles we're missing? And Kel is ahead of Elevate. These two just keep swapping positions. Sorry I haven't watched any of it, but we're watching Liam take the first feature race of the 3rd season of the GTMC, and what a fantastic race he's had as well. Just keeping that car on the road itself is a feat. And here he comes on his 21st lap. Congratulations, well done. Liam Anfield takes the win. Little GG's questionable about race compounds, we're not sure. He goes and takes 2nd place ahead of Homesick Alien in 3rd. Alphanut, a fantastic race, probably the man of the race for me, from the spin at the beginning to finish in 4th. Matt Psycho 5th. I reckon he was harassed by penalties. Kale finished ahead of his teammate Elevate in the end. Great finish for this top 10. Elevate, I've got to get my button ready before Gazman, who's just coming around to finish in 8th. Is that the final corner? Yes. Whoo-wee. And we saw Shadow Racer Brown finish in 9th, and Skyjacker 10th, Jim Wise 11th, Noxie 12th, Guesty in 13th, and Shadow Rider 14th. So there you go, there's your man. That's crap camera angle, that's a lot better. Liam Anfield taking 1st place, and did he won the sprint as well, so the double win goes to Liam Anfield. He is the new Stigman coming in, and total domination with the Audi. I don't think his manufacturer points are going to help much though against the 2 Peugeots, the 2 Nissans, 2 Lexuses. He needs to find himself a teammate to have a battle for the manufacturer's championship. In 2nd place, Little GG's. I'm going to write his one in pencil, or her. There. We'll say there. We'll not gender them. I'm not gendering you, Little GG's. I wouldn't do that to you. So Little GG's, I'm writing theirs in pencil because I think they did two stints of soft there. I will rewatch the YouTube and feel like a right dick if he starts on super softs, but I've written a list before we started. I'm pretty sure I put Little GG's down as soft, starting on soft. He only had the one pit stop, and he put soft on again. So, but second place for Little GG's. I don't want to take anything away from it. It's a great race. I just, was he on super soft? I can't. All right, let's say he was on super soft in the first stint, and I'm wrong, because I might be wrong, because I am usually wrong. If you've just listened to this 40 minutes, you may have realised I am quite usually wrong. So Little GG's, great second place, great drive. Lost it to Liam in the pit stops, unfortunately, but still second place from, I don't know if I should tell you all you wouldn't watch the feature before you'd watch the sprint, would you? So yeah, Little GG's from his 4th position in race 1 sprint race, he's got second in the feature race. So fantastic stuff, great start, great debut from Little GG's. Hope to see more from you in some of the other championships. Homesick Alien, a cracking third. I thought this guy was going to be one of the favourites at the beginning of the season. See, now I've swapped me pen for me pencil. I can't find me blooming pen now. They're all going to end up being in pencil. Oh well. So yes, not that I need a pencil to write down what positions they finished in, because that's unprofessional doing that at the same time as doing a rundown for you guys. So Homesick Alien, a great third place. What was he running, around 5th? He was part of the I think he gave Alpha a bit of a nudge, late braked into the first corner, and that's really what put Alpha off course and in the way of Kale. So he was part of that malaise in the first corner, and I think he came out of it around about, what, 7th or 8th. Yeah, and a great strategy has put him up to 3rd place. Fantastic race from from Homesick Alien. That's Homesick Alien. It's because I was looking at Alpha Nut to talk about him next. 4th place from Alpha. Do we have a better? Yeah. So Alpha, I think for me, probably is man of the race. 4th. I can't even find him on my list. Alpha Nut there. 4th after his 7th place in the sprint race. He had a massive comeback kid, wasn't it? What a drive, what a comeback. It's fantastic stuff from Alpha Nut. Then in 5th place, what are you eating?
Humbug.
A humbug. Where have we got humbugs?
In the Maynard Bassett side.
Alright, okay. So 5th place, Matt Syke. We've got humbugs, apparently. I didn't know. Have we got a better view of that? No, that one. Squint your eyes, you'll see what it is. There's Matt Psycho in 5th place. Thank you. Had an interesting drive. Great strategy. One-stop strategy. Ended up, could have been ahead of Alpha, but and Homesick. He was ahead of Homesick and Alpha at one point, but I think we definitely saw him take a penalty, which helped Homesick past him. We didn't see the move with Alpha, but we saw that Matt Psycho's pace was a bit slower than Alpha Nuts at that time, but Matt Psycho's tyres were a lot older. I wish I could have watched everything for you and kept an eye on everything. We have to just spread ourselves around and try and half watch everyone else's races. Then in 6th, Kale, also part of the woes at the beginning of the race in the first corner, and had a tremendous race to get up the field to finish in 6th place. Good points haulage there. He finished in 5th in the first sprint race, Elevate in 7th, finished 2nd in the sprint race. Looked like he was having a great race, don't know why, but the pit strategy didn't seem to work for him. Shuffled him down towards Kale, and we didn't see how Kale got ahead of him in the end. But yeah, I suppose he'd probably be a little bit disappointed from that. He didn't get the fast lap. Let's see who got the fastest lap. Liam Manfield got your fastest lap with a 54.676. We was down to Elevate. So Gazman in the second Nissan, a fantastic 8th place. I'd take 8th place in this league. Like I said, I started this league once. I think I only got 3 rounds in the Mercedes, and I well and truly fell out of my depth. So, Gazman, 8th. Got 10th in the sprint race. So, it's a good set of points. Helpful for Nissan. In 9th, Racer Brown in the Toyota Supra. Also, part of the beginning of that first corner melange. And I don't think he had to wait as long as he did. I think he got his Lexuses mixed up. I think he might have given Skyjacker a nudge, but it didn't affect Skyjacker's race. And I think he thought Alpha may have been the spin that Alpha had from Kale was part of his fault, but wasn't. So waited a lot longer than he needed to do. Got 8th position in the sprint race, so 8th and 9th, 2 top 10 finishers, always good. Got to look on the bright side of these things. Skyjacker 10th, he was riding high, he was having a great race, just asked a little bit too much from the grip of his tyres or the Lexus. Ended up out wide and then was always pushing to try and get back. So Skyjacker 10th after a 9th place finish in the sprint race. But we know that car has got all the potential to win either in Group 4 and Group 3. I do expect to see the silver Vodafone Lexuses on that top step at some point during this season. 11th we have a Jim Wise. I think had a fantastic race. Oh yeah, nice shot. Had a fantastic race. Saw him racing a few people. Keeps his car steady. He's not erratic. Didn't cause any trouble. Gave them great races. Finished 11th. Finished 12th in round 1. And I think he's going to advance up the grid as this season goes along, and he gets more used to that Aston Martin. Noxie, always good. Oh no, that's the wrong button. Oh, that's great. Looks like we're only looking at the back end of Noxie's car. So hang on, let's have a try of, if we do that. Oh no, you can't look back in pause. I tried. I don't know how to get out. There we go. So I can't believe I've wasted all this time just trying to get a good view of Noxie's car. Sorry. There you go. Noxie finished in 12th in the Ford Mustang, 11th in the sprint race. Getting used to the car, but Noxie, cracking little racer, always good. I've gone up against him a couple of times when we're doing testing for the WRX. Tough little racer, hard to race against. It's quite fast. So 13th Guesty in the second Toyota. We'll look at it that way. 13th after his sprint race. 13th. So 2 13s, unlucky for some. Guesty will be wanting to make some advance from that. Looks like he was really fuel saving near the end there. And there we go, Shadow Rider trying to master the Merc. And hats off to your brother, because I could not control that beast. Has finished in 14th. Well, big congratulations on the double for Liam. And he got fastest lap, so I think he's got a huge haulage of points he's walking away with from Nürburgring. A big smile on his face. And that was round 1 of the GTMC3. Thank you for joining us here at the Virtual Racers Club. Keep an eye on our YouTube channel. Oh yeah, hit like and submarine, because, you know, apparently it's important. It's POG, according to my 12-year-olds. And apparently if you wear off-white, you are sick. You get me, bro? Yeah? So, come to our website, www.virtualracersclub.co.uk. Get signed up to our Discord. Come and get involved. We're doing a time trial for Goodwood in the GR4 Aston Martin car. Come, see what times people have done. Put yourself up against the guys you're watching racing. Sign up to championships. I mean, Sunday, it's not far away, but there's 3 spaces left in the hybrid prototype endurance championship that's coming up on a Sunday evenings live. Friday evening live, I think, is going to be NTCC soon. Anyway, I shouldn't push too much. Here we go. I was your host, commentator, broadcaster, and general good guy and friend. I was Phil Acio, and I will catch you the next time I am broadcasting. Thank you for viewing. Dun 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 dun.